It's Steve Shiggetans. It's October 18th, 2020. So today I want to talk to you about some habits. So I want to talk to you about your habits and um, first of all, the very first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. So I'll talk a little bit about what I do and some of the things a couple of things I've been doing in the last year that's completely. It seems like it's changed everything, and so it's first of all, I picked up a habit a long time ago. I think probably more from reading like Think and Grow Rich and some of those books like that. But I picked up the habit of doing more than I'm getting paid to do. So I do. Some people call it going the extra mile. I like to say that I just do a little bit more than what I'm paid to do, and that's the neat thing is that's an investment into your future, and it'll come back to you. Well, for me, it's just really come back, and I mean I'm not just using this in my work life. I'm kind of using this in every area of my personal life and stuff like that. So I'll give you an example. I was last Christmas, so here it is October. So last Christmas, around 10 months ago, I was in Mesa, Arizona, and we were having a family Christmas. We had family from all over the country. And anyway, we were eating all kinds of cakes and pastas and fatty foods and baked stuff and things that I normally don't eat. And I went ahead and ate a lot of that stuff. I just, gosh, the day after Christmas, physically, I felt so bad. I was just so drained and felt terrible. And I made a decision that I was going to change. I was going to change that. And how I did it was I just decided that, all right, first of all, I made a decision that I'm going to, for me, some people say, well, I'm just going to eat only, vegetables or something like that, or only meat or whatever. For me, it was just like a commitment to keeping myself in physical shape because I felt so bad. So for me, it was exercise. And I made a decision that I was going to exercise every single day. And actually, I set a specific goal, which I think if you get tuned in, if you laser focus on a target, if you first of all have a target, and then you laser focus on it. So to get there, you have to have a target or something that you're shooting for, and it has to be very specific. So for me, it was 1,000 push-ups a day. That was the goal. Well, and 1,000 leg lifts, crunches, core exercises. So 1,000 and 1,000. And obviously that, if you've never done very many push-ups, for me, 40 push-ups was a lot of push-ups. So to do 1,000 in a day just seemed nearly impossible. But again, having a vision of what you want to do, and then, I wrote it down. I wrote 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 leg lifts, crunches, whatever you call it, core exercise every single day. And so the next thing was like, how am I going to do this? So one of the things I heard somebody say that just get up earlier, wake up earlier, get up an hour earlier. So that might mean that I need to go to sleep an hour earlier, so I can still get my rest and stuff in. But, you might be asking yourself, what the heck does this stuff have to do with the habit of doing more than you're paid for? But I'm going to get to that in a minute. So it's making this decision that I'm going to do this. I'm setting this goal, and I'm actually going to go for it. I'm going to do everything in my power to make this happen. And I guess the big thing there was I made a decision that I thought about my own habits and how I do things. And I'd always start out good. I'd start out, oh man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And inevitably, I'll go good for a couple of months, and I think y'all can relate to this. You start on something, a diet or a exercise, you join a gym, for about 2 months, you do pretty good. And then what happens is you have that one day where everything seemingly goes wrong in your life. Everything gets turned upside down. The alarm doesn't go off. I mean, whatever it is, you stub your toe, you get stuck in traffic. I mean, there's just a million things. But you think, well, I'm going to skip my workout today. And that one thing leads to the next one and the next one and the next one. And again, some people do that with brushing their teeth. They don't brush their teeth one day, and then pretty soon they haven't brushed their teeth in 6 months. And for me, I brush my teeth every single day. I never miss a day. If I do, I brush it 4 or 5 times. If some reason I somehow missed it, I was camping or something, I'll make up for it. That evening or the next day, I'll brush it 5 times. But again, it's something that you do every single day. And I thought, I need to do this 7 days a week. No excuses. Doesn't matter if it's, whatever happens, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm going to do it regardless of anything that happens. As long as I have the ability to do a push up, I'm going to do it. I obviously my goal is for 1,000, but I'm not gonna not do it just because I've injured myself. I'll figure out a way to do it. So making a definite decision that I'm going to do this is really what helped me. And so I started. So I made this goal, and it took a while to build up to it. I had to, at the first day, I think I only could do maybe 150 push-ups because I'd already been doing 40, 50 a day, not every day. And this decision that I'm not going to take a day off. I'm going to do it 7 days a week. No holidays, no birthdays, nothing is going to get in the way of doing this. And the only way I could think of that I could do that was to get up earlier in the morning and do it before the day starts, actually. So we're going to talk about these little habits. So when I get up in the morning, so having a routine, I think, is really important because it can set your day in the right direction. So when I get up, the first thing I do is make my bed. And you would think, what does that have to do with anything? But, it's just a little thing that if you just do it every day, and for me, I just have, I mean, it doesn't take, gosh, it only takes like 30 seconds, really. I mean, just spread the blanket out and you make it. And it's one little accomplishment, and you start out the day that if everything else goes wrong, you can at least say that one thing went right, that you got your bed made. And so I make my bed. Then I take some herbs. So I go and I take my herbs right after that and make a cup of coffee. I've got a cup right here, but I'll make my cup of coffee, and then immediately I have a stationary bicycle, and I'll just jump on that bicycle and start pedaling. And I almost don't even think about it because what happens is if you start thinking too much about what you're doing, you'll start making, at least for me, I'll start making excuses, and I'll start making reasons not to do it, and I'll start I'll start thinking of all the ways, all the reasons not to do it. And so if I just get after it, I mean, Mel Robbins has a thing called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she just says that it's just like a rocket taking off when they can't do the countdown. She go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just do it. And you almost don't think. You just do. You just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just go and not think about it. So I don't think. I just get on and start pedaling. And I usually do around 10 minutes on the pedaling. And then I have a rowing machine, and I do the rowing machine, and then I get right to the push-ups. Now, this is where it's come. This is the part where I want to talk about doing a little more than you're paid to do. And this is where I've had a habit of doing this for a long time. I'm always, whenever I'm doing a job and I'm providing a service for someone, I'm always thinking about what else can I do? What's little thing extra can I do to do just a little bit more than what I'm paid to do? And so I do that in my push-ups. So I do sets of 150. So I do 7 sets of 150 push-ups. I know that's a little more than 1,000. But my point is that as I do those push-ups, when I hit 150, I do either 4 to 10 more, sometimes 12 or 15. I just do a few more. and then I do my crunches. And it's kind of the same way with its crunches and leg lifts and the core exercises. I kind of do just a little bit more, and it's incredible the stuff that this habit, developing this habit has just changed everything. I mean, it's like it's been 10 months, and I mean, my finances, I mean, of all things, my finances have completely changed. I've been, it's taken me like 10 years to get to where I'm debt free, and I've been debt free, but I just haven't really had a lot in savings, and my savings has grown, and I've been able to pay more out. I mean, things are coming back, and I think it starts with the little things. It's the that I wouldn't have to get up and make my bed, but by doing that, it starts the day off good. It's just there's just so many benefits in doing this, and but I want to encourage you that here I'm going to be 50. I'll be 55 years old. I'm 54 years old, so I'll be 55. And my goal, and I've only got a couple of months left to do it, is to continue. In April of this year is when I hit the 1,000, and I've done 1,000 push-ups, at least 1,000. I mean, I probably do a little bit more. I try to do just a little more because it's the habit of doing that. But doing 1,000 push-ups a day since April, and I want to, and by the time when I hit Christmas or the day after Christmas, as long as I do it those 2 days, the Christmas and the day after Christmas, I actually did not miss one day of workout. Now the other day, just so sometimes things you have to make adjustments, and I get that. I was doing something in Minnesota, and I had to drive back, and it was real late at night, and I drove until like 4:30 in the morning. I slept in the car for a couple hours, and so here it is 6:30, and normally that's when I would do my workout, and but I needed to get back on the road, so I just immediately got back on the road, and I drove, and it took me till 4 o'clock in the afternoon to get back home. And when I got back home, so I'd missed my workout, but I went ahead, and the first thing I did is I went and did the workout. I did the push-ups, I did the bike, I did the whole thing. And even though it was late in the day, and then the next morning I did it. So I really didn't even miss a day. So it's making that commitment and then not letting yourself off the hook. And for me, it's just so much easier just to do it 7 days a week. The human body can handle it. I mean, and believe me, I do get rest. I do believe in rest, and I think it is important that you rest. And even when I work out, I try to work out with a relaxed mentality, or I try to do it relaxed. It's kind of hard, when you're doing 1,000 push-ups. It's like, how the heck do you relax through that? But there's this word called flow, 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 and I say that word a lot of times. I'll say that word, and I'll get in a rhythm, and I won't slow down. I slow down a little bit, but it's more a flow or smoothness. I try to keep it, to do it. But I find the hardest thing, and it's still, even today, even after doing it all these day after day after day, probably 300 plus days of doing this every single day, I still have, my brain still says, "Oh, you can't do this," or "You should stop." I mean, and I have to ignore that. So you have to ignore those thoughts, and just push, just not really push yourself, but just focus on, what helps me is, it's funny, the weirdest thing helps me is I almost think about the next thing I'm doing. So as I'm doing the 150 push-ups, I'm counting them out. And I do 3 sets of 50 is how I count. And as I'm counting, if the thoughts start coming, this is hard, it's too hard, and all that, I'll start thinking about the next thing. Well, I'm the next one I get to do is I get to lay down and do my crunches, and for me, I kind of enjoy doing crunches. Well, I know it sounds weird because most people don't really enjoy. I don't enjoy the push-ups much, but I do kind of enjoy the crunches, and so I just think of the next thing. I'm doing the crunches. Sometimes I'll even think of something I'm going to do after. All right, after I'm done, I'm going to take a shower. I'll think of the shower, and if it's weird, it just that little shift, taking my mind off of the now. Even though I try to be in the now, I think that's important. But but just go just a little bit further. Think of just a little bit. In a minute I'll be done with this. In 1 minute, and I'll be on to the next thing. And sometimes I'll think two things ahead, but my point is that helps me get through it. And yeah, you feel a sense of accomplishment when you're done. But yeah, it's weird that last 150, to push over the 1,000 mark. It just, I I don't know if it's just a mental thing or what it is, but I'll sit there and I'll think to myself, like, I can't do this. And it's just I ran a half marathon, one of my first half marathons. I literally was a quarter mile from the finish line, and everything I was hurting so bad. It was so tough. We'd kind of gone up a foot of the mountain, and it was just that part wasn't bad. It was just, but it just drained me, and oh man, I hit this wall, and I had this finish line in sight, and I almost gave up. It was everything I had to do to push myself to finish that thing, and boy, I'm sure glad I did. I can't tell you if I would have just given up, just that close to being success, how I would have regretted it. So and just finishing it, and sometimes I'll think of that when my mind is telling me, oh, you can't do this, it hurts too much, or this is too hard. You just think of well, you can do this. You think in your life where you've stuck to it and finished something that you didn't think you could do, and you got it done, and that'll help you to get through. But I want to encourage you today that render that service. Sometimes it can be for yourself, and if you work for someone else or you're selling something, give that person your time and attention, and do just a little more than you're paid to do, and do it with a good attitude, and have a plan, and keep your vision going, and you'll have success in your life. So so this was the habit of doing more than you're paid to do, and when you do that, it just creates a atmosphere of accomplishment, and you'll feel that you're going to be in control of your life, and that you're responsible. And when you tell yourself, one of the things I do, Brian Tracy says, do this, is I am responsible. You make that statement, I am responsible, and when you do that, it really helps, because it gives you a empowerment that, what, I am responsible for what happens in my life. And sometimes it's easy to say, well, I didn't cause that wreck, or I didn't cause that person to be mean to me, or cut me out, or whatever. I didn't cause that, but I am responsible for how I might not have caused the windstorm that blew over, that damaged my property, but I'm responsible for how I look at that, and the way I deal with it. And so you may not be responsible for something that happened in your life, but you are responsible for how you deal with it. And so I hope this was an encouragement to you today. And I just want to say that, no matter what's happening in your life or where you're at, a lot of times you're really close to success. And if you just hang in there and go a little further, don't give up. Just hang in there. Don't give up. When everything is telling you want to quit, and you just don't give up, and it'll work for you. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.